Well, today we've got OSEE's LCM156 monitor here that we're going to talk about. And before we dive into that, I'm just going to show you a couple of pieces. I already have the case opened up here. Now this case is optional, but they do sell it as a kit. This is the back of the case here that holds a power adapter if you want to use it with AC or wall power. So, it's just a nice backing here, and then it locks in place. And then this is on the front side. So once you have all these pieces put together, you just have a nice case that you can travel with, throw it around your monitor, it'll be fine. Inside the case, you also have this sun hood here, and this is magnetic. They've got a couple of strong magnets screwed into the frame here, and all this does is just sit in, goes on very quickly. So you've got magnets at the top and along the sides of the frame, holds the sun hood in place in case you're working under very bright lights. All right, now we'll take a look at the back of the monitor here. We've got a gold mount battery plate here, so you can power this off of a battery. Now you can get V-mount as well. This plate is interchangeable. We've got a number of different in and outputs here. We've got SDI and also HDMI SDI out as well. Now this is a Cupo VESA mount that I have here, so I can mount it to a light stand. I've added this. This is only like 30 bucks, but I have a couple of these now, so these are really, really great. It's been working out really well, and it folds very small. So this is a Cupo VESA mount if you want to mount a monitor to a light stand. Now, over here I have my Atomos H to S converter here. Now, this is something that I've added, and the reason why is the LCM156 here can display waveform, vector scope, a couple other things, but it's only available on an SDI input, not the HDMI input. So when you plug something into HDMI, you don't get the waveform or vector scope. But one of the things I found is if I just take my HDMI feed, convert it via SDI with this Atomos H2S, plug it into the SDI, I actually get my waveform and vector scope. So I don't actually use that all the time, but I have this here in case I want to use that. Anyways, this thing has a lot of features, tally, and it can do audio or display audio. But the claim to fame for OSEE is that they are what they say is the most affordable 10-bit color display, right? So and 10-bit, who needs 10-bit? But actually a lot of cameras can output 10-bit. The GH4, Panasonic GH4, very inexpensive camera, can actually output 10-bit. The Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera over here can also output 10-bit. So there are a lot of cheap, affordable cameras that can output 10-bit, and it really makes a difference in what you're looking at. Now, another thing that this monitor can do, as opposed to like just a basic television, is you can install a 3D LUT here. So a lot of these cameras will shoot in a very flat profile. Your GH4 can shoot in Vlog, your Blackmagic can shoot in kind of a film, kind of a flat profile look, or some of your Sonys will shoot in a very flat S-Log profile. And some of the cameras that you may work with cannot output differently than what it's recording. And so by adding the LUT to the screen here, you can see what your footage should look like, how to set your color exposure, and also your clients who have the input on what you're working with kind of see more of the finished product, because when you're showing a very flat profile on these monitors, they may not get it. They may say, oh, I think it's too bright, or there's not enough color, or I don't like this or that. So it's really handy to have a monitor that can actually display something different than what your camera is recording. You can, like I said, you can use a television to just output the monitor on your camera, and if you're using it just for framing, that's great. But when you're trying to show somebody what you're doing as a more finished product, it helps to have something a little bit more professional. And a lot of TVs don't even have SDI inputs. You're not going to have pass-throughs. It may not even see a lot of the frame rates. I've worked with some monitors before where you've got 2398 and 24, 2997 and 30 and 60, and it can't see these different frame rates. So, you're going to get stuck sometimes. So having a very professional monitor is going to let you do a lot more things. And again, 10-bit and super affordable is their claim to fame. Anyways, I'm just going to show you how, the basic way to hook it up is just to use an HDMI cable to the monitor. Now, a lot of times people will say, the distance of HDMI is only, 10 or 20 feet, and it starts to degrade. But if you're just outputting from your camera to this monitor, you can actually go 100 feet if you use the right type of HDMI cable. So let me show you that in a sec. All right, so this is one of my very lengthy HDMI cables. This is number 3. I believe I have 4 of these. These are the Excel, and these are made quite differently. You notice how large this is. It's got kind of a repeater circuit built in where it can, transmit the signal at a longer distance. So we've got 100 feet here. I was using this for live switching. I ended up going with SDI anyway. But anyways, you can use long HDMI cables. So that's the most basic way. So let me plug this in just to show you. And we'll plug in this cable here. There you go. So we've got a feed coming out of our Blackmagic Pocket, and we've got a 100-foot HDMI cable. 100 feet can go a very, very long distance. So if your camera is fairly stationary and you're just sending the feed out for everyone to look at, you can do that. So we've used this feature quite a bit, is to show clients what we're doing, and they're not huddling around you. They're not climbing over your shoulders, and you got room to work. And everyone can share in the input. So it's really great to have a monitor on set. Obviously, the best way that we like to use it is to use wireless systems. So we would add a wireless HDMI, anything from the Cane TV wireless system to the Amimon Connects from Camera Motion Research. That's probably one of the best ones that we've used because you can go through walls and super long distances. So check out the Connects as well, and that's a good wireless video transmitter that we use often as well. So one other things I didn't show you is that the flight case can be used directly on a table, just like that. So this is another feature that we like using on this case. In case you don't want to throw it on a stand, or you're working on a table or in a small space, you could just throw it flat. Now there are some rubber pads underneath here, so you're not going to mar the surface. And there's even adjustable feet. So there's these little feet here that you could rotate and kind of level out your stand if you're on an uneven surface. So the flight case has been awesome. It's great to just lock everything up, throw it around, and stack all your gear on top. Never have to worry about your monitor. So highly suggest this. There is a special discount for people that follow Cheesycam on the OSEE LCM156. Check it out on the blog. I have a link below. And if you have any questions about this stuff, hit me up, cheesycam.com.